Hello and welcome to the 5th rank, going beyond the centre. In this video we're going to be looking at how the pawn moves. There are 8 white pawns and 8 black pawns at the start of a game. The pawn can only move forward. It can never move backwards or left or right. Let's have a look at this now. So with regards to this white pawn, as indicated by the green circle, this pawn has the option of moving one space forward, or if it's the first time it's moving, 2 spaces forwards, the double move. So it has the option of moving from here to here, or the double move. Let's have a look at a single move forwards. Okay, the double move was introduced in order to make relatively slow games a little bit faster. So let's have a look at the pawn moving 2 spaces forwards, like so. Now, a pawn can continually move forward on its turn as long as it is not blocked by an opposing piece. In this situation, the white pawn is blocked by the black pawn and cannot move forwards. Pawns are allowed to capture on the diagonal. Let's see how this would work. So we can see here that white's made its opening move and black has made a move. However, the black piece is now in danger of being captured because the white piece can move and capture on the diagonal. It can also choose to just continue to move forwards. However, let's see the capture. Now, the double move, where the chess piece, the pawn, actually moves forward 2 spaces, is considered to be a bit of an advantage. So they introduced a new rule, en passant, which is French for in passing. Let's have a look at this black pawn circled by the green. So what happens is that, let's say this pawn is going to do a double move forwards. It would essentially avoid being captured. We can see there that it has avoided the capture. However, the en passant rule means that white, if in this position, for example, where it is next to an adjacent and the black pawn has evaded capture, can execute en passant, which means that it will take as if the black pawn had moved from here to this square here. It must be carried out immediately after the double move. Let's witness this. That is how en passant works. It can be very useful later on in the game, and it's something that most beginners don't know about. So make sure you're familiar with en passant. Let's talk about pawn promotion. Pawn promotion is very much like promotion in the military when you've done long service. If your pawn can get all the way from its starting position to the other side of the board, to one of these squares here, across the back rank of the enemy side, it can be promoted to either a queen, a knight, a rook, or a bishop. This can be extremely beneficial, especially in the endgame. We can see from the position here that we have a rook placed on h7. Okay, if we can promote the pawn into, say, a queen, we will automatically win the game with a checkmate. However, there are times when we may not want a queen. We may want a knight. We may want a bishop. Or, in this case, we could quite easily just use another rook. Only the queen and the rook will execute a checkmate, a win condition with this promotion. So we can see the rook and the queen both lead to checkmate. The knight and the bishop do not. If you're not sure how the knight and the bishop move, or even the rook for that matter, check out the other videos. Thanks for watching.